Hello, everyone. The date is the 4th of May 2024. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about the human instinct to fight. Okay. Now, I'm not so much in this video talking about the need to fight as in violence, although that clearly comes into it. But I'm talking about the kind of fights that we see in society now and how that's been transformed from the days of old where we used to literally fight, in wars. I'm talking about in the Western world here, and how we used to fight for survival, even further back than that. So, the reason why we exist is because of our need to fight, to defend ourselves, and also to hunt prey. And I'm talking about in our deep past, our uh, ancient history, in which we were hunter gatherers, in which we were looking for times were really difficult, and we were looking for prey, and we were desperate for food, and we had to fight for our survival. Now, over the course of time, that need to fight has been diminished because as society has become more civilized, we have food that's produced for us and we just pay money to have that food. Even those who don't work, at least in Western society, they will have, we have a benefit system, a welfare state, which will enable those people to get food without having to actually hunt for it. So, what that means is that we no longer need to have the need to fight, but that instinct is still within us after millions of years of evolution. Because in the grand scheme of things, it's not been that long since we were animals. And I would argue that we still are, we're just sophisticated animals. So, then, when it came to relatively modern times, then the ability to survive was not as something that we needed to fight for as much. We still had wars, so then we had like the First World War, the Second World War, etc. So then we were fighting an enemy. Then now, since World War Two, we've had peacetime, and we no longer have the need to fight. But that need to fight is still within our psyche, it's still within our instincts. So that transformed itself into campaigns. So we had the feminism movement in the 1970s. And then we've had other movements since then, like the Me Too movement. I mean, the advent of the internet and social media in particular has kind of accelerated this, and Black Lives Matter movement. And now that we live in peacetime and we don't have any conflicts, we are looking still to fight for things. Another example would be animal rights activism. So we seek to achieve these goals. We seek to fight for things um, because we still have that need to fight. Now, it's reached a point in our society where now we're fighting for things which are quite meaningless. And I'm talking about the need to um, for people to recognize that they are non-binary. So obviously this is a controversial point, but it's almost like we have come to the point where society, as other issues have been ironed out, society's got to the point where we feel the need to fight about things that really are inconsequential. Because it doesn't matter what my preferred pronouns are, I am still the same person. And if you perceive me as a man or a woman and you identify as me as much, then I'm not going to be offended. Well, I might get offended if you thought I was a woman. Um, but it's like, society's reached a point where we think, right, we still have this need to fight, we still have this need to campaign. and fight for our rights. So what should we do? I know we'll invent something, something inconsequential. And we've now reached that point, and I would argue that that's probably a good thing in the sense that clearly we live in a society where if that's all we've got left to fight for, then we're probably not doing too badly. Obviously, there are still political movements. People are going to differ on ideology, political ideology, and they're going to fight on those grounds. And that will continue for like generations to come, more than likely. Um, but it feels like we've reached this point now where we're kind of inventing stuff. Now, I guarantee if there was a war, if there was a Third World War, then all this campaigning about such things would suddenly cease because people would transfer their energy to fight into something more worthwhile, which is actually defeating an enemy and survival, as we did fairly recently in World War II. Um, so that need is always there. Now, over the course of the next few thousand years, that need to fight may gradually dissipate from the human psyche, and we become more. We actually reach a state where we live in the whole world lives in peace, and in addition, we don't feel that there's anything left that we need to fight for. Socially wise. And we may see that, but certainly it's not going to be coming anytime soon. So, anyway, that's my thoughts for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon for another video.